Questions to ask a woman for intimacy without rejection. Dark psychology trick she can't. Psychology tricks. Let me begin with a truth most men won't admit out loud. It's not intimacy that makes you hesitate. It's the possibility of hearing no. That split second when you lean in and she leans away feels like a verdict on your worth. But here's the shift that changes the game. Intimacy isn't granted or denied based on the words you use. It's decided by the emotional atmosphere you create. As the writer Anami Sneen once said, love never dies a natural death. It dies because we don't know how to replenish its source. Attraction is the same. It doesn't disappear randomly. It fades when the emotional current isn't there. And when that current is strong, intimacy doesn't feel like a request. It feels like the next natural step. Most men sabotage themselves in predictable ways. They move too fast. They ask too bluntly. They let nervous tension leak through their tone. Or worse, they treat intimacy like a transaction instead of an experience. The reality is simple but powerful. Women don't reject physical closeness. They reject the emotional state surrounding it. If the moment feels rushed, pressured, or disconnected, her instincts say no. If it feels safe, exciting, aligned, and unforced, her instincts say yes without resistance. That is not manipulation. That is understanding emotional timing. Desire for many women is not a light switch, it's a dimmer. It builds through conversation, shared laughter, subtle tension, eye contact that lingers a second longer than necessary. While many men experience attraction instantly and visually, women often experience it contextually. It develops through how she feels in your presence. That means intimacy isn't something you ask for out of nowhere. It's something you lead toward by deepening comfort and anticipation. When she feels understood but not analyzed, desired but not hunted, close but not cornered, that's when the door opens naturally. The real strategy, then, is patience combined with emotional awareness. Slow down. Let tension breathe. Instead of pushing for a moment, create moments. Instead of asking for closeness, build the kind of connection where closeness feels inevitable. When you understand that her decision is emotional before it is physical, you stop chasing outcomes and start shaping experiences. And when the experience feels right, intimacy doesn't require a risky leap. It unfolds. The first trick: never ask directly. Let's get something straight from the beginning. If you want intimacy without rejection, you must stop thinking in terms of persuasion and start thinking in terms of emotional alignment. The first principle is simple and powerful. Never ask directly. Do not corner her with a blunt proposal. Do not turn connection into a transaction. When a man says, "Do you want to come back to my place?" too early, he forces her into a conscious decision. And the conscious mind is where hesitation lives. That is where she calculates risk, reputation, timing, consequences. Pressure creates resistance. Resistance creates distance. Distance becomes rejection. If you truly want to understand psychology tricks that actually work, you need to understand female psychology at a deeper level. Women respond to emotional invitations, not verbal ultimatums. An invitation feels open. A demand feels heavy. And you must know the difference. When you invite emotionally, subtly, you shift the dynamic. She doesn't feel pushed. She feels drawn. She feels like she is choosing, not being chosen. And when she feels ownership of the choice, rejection becomes rare because the decision feels self-generated. That is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks in modern dating. Think about sales for a moment. The harder someone pushes you, the more you pull back. Even if you are interested, even if you are curious, pressure kills desire. The same applies here. Direct questions about intimacy activate her logical defense system. But emotional suggestion speaks to feeling. And feelings drive behavior far more than logic ever will. If you want to know how to fall in love or how to guide someone toward deeper connection, you must learn to create an experience instead of requesting an outcome. That is the shift. Create the mood. Create the safety. Create the spark. Let her step into it. Don't drag her there. Here's the deeper structure behind these psychology tricks. Intimacy moves forward when three emotional switches turn on: safety, trust, and anticipation. Miss one, and momentum slows. Ignore two, and you lose her entirely. You must be intentional about all three. Safety does not mean years of history. It means emotional steadiness. It means she feels you won't judge her, rush her, or punish her for having boundaries. Be calm. Be grounded. Don't react defensively if she hesitates. That is strength. That is maturity. Female psychology is highly sensitive to emotional volatility. If you are unpredictable, she cannot relax. And without relaxation, there is no intimacy. Trust is built through consistency. Say what you mean what you say. If you tell her you're not in a hurry, then don't suddenly change pace when the chemistry rises. Many men sabotage themselves here. They speak patience but act urgency. That contradiction destroys trust. And once trust cracks, she pulls back. You must align words and behavior. Respect her boundaries without dramatizing them. Don't pout. Don't negotiate. Don't guilt trip. That is how you quietly demonstrate value. Trust creates emotional permission. Without it, desire feels risky. With it, desire feels exciting. Now let's talk about anticipation. This is where most men get it wrong. They either rush or they stall. Anticipation lives in tension. It lives in the space between what is happening and what could happen. Hold eye contact a second longer. Lower your voice slightly. Let silence breathe instead of filling it with nervous chatter. Suggest experiences instead of outcomes. Instead of, do you want to come over? Try, there's this cozy wine bar near my place with a view that feels different at night. You'd probably like it. Notice the difference. One is a request. The other is a shared possibility. One pressures. The other invites. These psychology tricks are not manipulation. They're awareness of emotional flow. You are guiding energy, not forcing decisions. If you truly want to master female psychology, understand this. Women fall into intimacy the same way they fall in love, gradually, emotionally, safely. How to fall in love is not about grand gestures. It is about layered moments. A laugh that lingers. A touch that feels natural. A conversation that feels understood. Intimacy is simply love accelerated. So stop thinking in terms of conquest. Start thinking in terms of connection. Be present. Be observant. Notice when she leans in. Notice when she mirrors your movements. Notice when her tone softens. These signals tell you more than any direct question ever will. Don't interrogate the moment. Don't ask for permission in a way that kills the mood. Instead, escalate slowly and watch her response. If she moves closer when you move closer, continue. If she maintains eye contact, hold it. If she touches your arm during laughter, lightly reciprocate. That is calibration. That is social intelligence. The best psychology tricks are subtle adjustments based on feedback, not scripted lines delivered blindly. You must read the room. You must feel the rhythm. That is what separates awkward attempts from natural progression. Here's another truth about female psychology. Women are highly attuned to intention. If your energy screams urgency, she feels it. If your mindset is scarcity, she senses it. Desperation disrupts attraction. Calm confidence amplifies it. Be the man who is enjoying the moment regardless of outcome. That emotional independence makes intimacy feel like a shared choice, not a goal you're chasing. And when she feels that you're not attached to forcing a result, she relaxes. Relaxation opens doors that pressure slams shut. Understand this clearly. You cannot eliminate rejection completely. No psychology tricks can override personal preference, timing, or circumstance. But you can drastically reduce resistance by mastering emotional pacing. You can increase your success by creating safety, trust, and anticipation before you ever hint at physical escalation. That is strategy rooted in awareness, not manipulation. That is how to fall in love in a way that feels mutual instead of mechanical. So remember, never ask directly in a way that corners her. Create emotional invitations instead. Build safety through calm presence. Build trust through consistency. Build anticipation through restraint. Don't rush. Don't pressure. Don't turn intimacy into a negotiation. Be steady. Be intentional. Be perceptive. When you understand female psychology and apply these psychology tricks with maturity, Intimacy stops feeling like a gamble and starts feeling like a natural next step. And that is the real shift. Not forcing outcomes. Creating environments where saying yes feels easy, comfortable, and entirely her choice. The second trick, the soft withdrawal effect. Understand this clearly. Intimacy is not built by force. It is built by space. Most men believe attraction grows when they push forward. They lean in. They escalate. They try to secure the moment before it disappears. Don't do that. Pressure suffocates desire. A high-value man understands timing. He understands rhythm. He knows that masculine energy is not about chasing closeness, but about being grounded enough to allow closeness to choose him. That is power. That is control without control. Instead of moving toward intimacy the second you feel chemistry, you gently lean out. Not cold, not distant, not pretending you're uninterested, just relaxed, just composed. You show through your body language and tone that you enjoy the connection, but you are not dependent on it. This does two critical things. First, it removes pressure instantly. Pressure is the silent killer of attraction. The moment a woman senses that intimacy is expected, tension replaces curiosity. Second, it creates emotional space. And in that space, something powerful happens. She begins to lean in. Women feel safe with a man who doesn't rush intimacy, not because he lacks desire, not because he is passive, but because he respects energy. He reads the room. He feels the tempo. He allows the moment to breathe. That is masculine energy at its finest. Calm, certain, unhurried. When you are trying to attract women, understand this principle deeply. Safety creates desire. Anxiety destroys it. Picture this clearly. You're sitting close to her. The conversation flows effortlessly. There's laughter. Eye contact lingers a little longer than normal. There is chemistry in the air. Most men, especially those who fear losing the opportunity, make the same mistake. They move closer. They touch more frequently. They attempt the kiss too soon. And what happens? She pulls back slightly. Not dramatically. Just enough. That slight pullback is not rejection. It is a response to pressure. Now imagine a different approach. Same setting, same chemistry, but instead of leaning in when the tension rises, you lean back slightly. You pause. You break eye contact for a second and smile subtly. You create a small pocket of space. Suddenly, the dynamic shifts. The pressure disappears. In that quiet gap, she becomes aware of her own feelings. She notices the tension you didn't chase. She feels the connection you didn't force. And often, she begins to close the space herself. She leans in. She touches your arm. She maintains eye contact longer. She invests. You're not playing games. Don't confuse this with manipulation. This is emotional discipline. A high-value man is comfortable whether intimacy happens or not. That comfort is magnetic. When you attract women consistently, it is not because you mastered lines or tactics. It is because you mastered yourself. You must be okay with the moment unfolding naturally. You must be grounded enough to let silence work for you. That is strength. Here's the deeper psychology. Human beings value what they choose. When she feels like intimacy is her decision, not your expectation, desire increases. Autonomy fuels attraction. When she feels rushed, autonomy disappears. When she feels space, autonomy returns. And with it, curiosity. And with curiosity, pursuit. This is why the soft withdrawal effect works. It aligns with natural emotional rhythms instead of fighting them. But be careful. This only works if it's genuine. If you lean back while internally panicking, she will sense it. Women are highly attuned to incongruence. Your body may lean away, but your energy will still chase. Don't fake composure. Build it. How? Slow your breathing. Relax your shoulders. Speak slightly slower. Maintain steady eye contact without staring. These small adjustments communicate stability. Stability is attractive. Stability is masculine energy expressed without aggression. Ask yourself this question in those moments: am I trying to take or am I allowing? That single shift changes everything. A high-value man allows attraction to build. He doesn't grab at it. He doesn't rush it. He understands that intimacy grows best in an atmosphere of mutual desire, not urgency. Modern dating has trained many men to fear missed chances. Swipe culture creates scarcity in the mind. You think if you don't escalate now, you'll lose her. Don't operate from fear. Operate from abundance. When you believe you can attract women through your presence, not pressure, your behavior changes naturally. You become less reactive, more intentional, more calm. This is not about withholding affection or acting distant. It is about timing. Think of music. If every note played at maximum volume, there would be no beauty. The pauses create tension. The silence makes the sound meaningful. Intimacy works the same way. The space between actions creates anticipation. That anticipation builds attraction. You must also recognize when she is leaning in emotionally. If she shares personal stories, holds eye contact, mirrors your movements, or finds subtle reasons to maintain proximity, she is investing. In those moments, your soft withdrawal amplifies her awareness of that investment. She feels the shift. She feels the opportunity to step forward. And when she steps forward, the connection feels mutual, not one-sided. Be decisive, but not hurried. Be interested, but not attached. Be warm, but not overwhelming. That balance defines a high-value man. Masculine energy is not loud. It is steady. It does not beg for closeness. It creates an environment where closeness feels natural. And here is the truth many men overlook. Rejection often comes not from lack of attraction, but from mistimed escalation. When you rush, she protects herself. When you respect the pace, she relaxes. Relaxation opens doors that pressure slams shut. So the next time you feel that spark, don't rush to capture it. Sit in it. Let it breathe. Lean back slightly. Smile. Hold your composure. Allow her to move toward you. If she does, you know the desire is real. If she doesn't, you lose nothing. You maintained your frame. You maintained your dignity. That alone sets you apart. Remember this. Attraction thrives in freedom. Intimacy deepens in safety. And a high-value man who understands how to attract women does so not by pushing harder, but by standing firm in his masculine energy and letting the moment unfold. Don't chase the moment. Create the space where the moment chooses you. If you understand this, then stop chasing. Stop forcing. Stop trying to manufacture intimacy. Real power is restraint. Real attraction grows in space. When you can lean back instead of lunging forward, when you can pause instead of pushing, you show calm confidence, and that's what creates desire without rejection. So if you're ready to master this energy, drop this in the comments right now. I create space, and she leans in. Like the video, subscribe for more sharp psychological insights, and remember, the man who controls the pace controls the connection. The third trick, the implanted thought shift. The third principle is what I call the implanted thought shift, and if you understand it correctly, you will never again feel the need to beg, chase, or awkwardly ask for intimacy like a nervous teenager hoping for permission. You do not ask for intimacy. You create the conditions where intimacy feels like her idea. That is the difference between pressure and presence. Instead of saying, "Can we be closer?" you say, calmly and without agenda, "I really like the way our energy feels together," or "You're surprisingly easy to be close to," or "There's something about your calmness that makes this feel natural." Notice what's happening here. You are not requesting anything. You are not cornering her into a yes or no. You are naming a feeling. And as Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you introduce words like energy, closeness, connection, and natural, you gently color the emotional atmosphere. This is not manipulation. This is awareness. Women respond to feelings, not instructions. Men who operate with Old Stoic wisdom understand that force creates resistance, but clarity creates flow. If she already feels a spark, your words simply help her recognize it. You are articulating emotions she senses, but hasn't yet verbalized. And when you give language to a feeling, you give it shape. You give it permission to exist. That alignment is powerful. That alignment is magnetic. In modern dating, especially in a world driven by text messages, social media signals, and emotional confusion, most men talk too much and say too little of value. They either push too hard or hide their interests completely. Both are mistakes. Be centered. Be grounded. Be precise. Say less, but mean more. When you calmly state, "I like how natural this feels," you are framing the interaction as already intimate on an emotional level. You are not dragging her forward. You are inviting her to notice where she already stands. That subtle shift changes everything. Epictetus reminded us we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listen to her tone. Observe her body language. Feel the rhythm of the conversation. Then reflect it back with composed confidence. That is iron mind. That is control without control. And this is where Stoicism win becomes more than a phrase, it becomes a practice. You master yourself first. You study your breathing. You remove desperation. You eliminate the hunger for validation. When you are internally calm, your words carry weight. When you are internally chaotic, even the smoothest line sounds forced. Remember this: intimacy grows in safety. Safety grows in emotional steadiness. Emotional steadiness grows from discipline. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that you cannot control another person's response, only your intention and your conduct. So focus there. Speak in a way that assumes mutual connection rather than pleading for it. Don't say, "Do you feel close to me?" Say, "There's a comfortable connection here." Let her either lean into that frame or gently correct it. Either way, you maintain dignity. You maintain strength. You maintain your iron mind. And understand the psychology behind this clearly. When you verbalize a positive emotional state, you prime the brain to look for evidence that supports it. If you say the moment feels natural, her mind unconsciously scans for proof that it does. If you say the connection feels easy, she begins to experience it that way. This is not trickery. It is how human cognition works. We move toward narratives that make sense of our emotions. Give her a narrative of warmth and ease, not tension and urgency. In today's world, where many men overthink every text and fear rejection like it is a public execution, this approach sets you apart. You are not asking for approval. You are sharing perception. That distinction is everything. Confidence is not loud. It is certain. It is measured. It is relaxed. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Brave does not mean aggressive. Brave means you are unafraid to express appreciation without attachment to outcome. You must internalize this. Intimacy is not taken. It is invited. It is co-created. It unfolds when both people feel seen. So instead of pushing for a physical step too early, deepen the emotional layer. Say, "I feel like we understand each other." Pause. Let the silence breathe. Let her respond. If she mirrors it, you advance naturally. If she hesitates, you adjust without resentment. That is mastery. That is Stoicism when in real life. Repeat the principle until it becomes instinct. Don't chase. Frame. Don't demand. Describe. Don't force. Invite. The implanted thought shift works because it aligns with truth. You are not inventing chemistry. You are highlighting it. And if there is no chemistry, your calm framing will reveal that quickly without drama. Either way, you win. Because you stay centered. You stay composed. You protect your standards. Build the iron mind that allows you to speak warmly without clinging, to show desire without neediness, to lead emotionally without overpowering. This is how mature men create intimacy without rejection. They remove the battlefield. They remove the tension. They replace it with presence. Master this. Practice it deliberately. Refine it through awareness. And remember, the goal is not to control her reaction. The goal is to control your energy, your language, your frame. When you do that consistently, intimacy stops feeling like a risk and starts feeling like a natural progression. That is the power of Old Stoic wisdom. That is Stoicism win. That is the strength of an iron mind in action. The fourth trick. Let her feel safe in her feminine energy. When you talk about intimacy, understand this first. It does not begin with a clever line, and it does not begin with physical escalation. It begins with emotional safety. The fourth principle is simple but powerful. Let her feel safe in her feminine energy. If you truly want to understand psychology tricks that actually work, you must first understand female psychology at its core. Intimacy for a woman is not just physical, it is emotional softness, trust, warmth, vulnerability, openness. She cannot enter that state if you are tense, overly sexual, rushed, or trying to get somewhere. Don't rush. Don't push. Don't make the moment about your goal. Be calm. That is the frame. Your job is not to impress her into intimacy. Your job is to create an atmosphere where intimacy feels natural. Calm is attractive. Calm is grounding. Calm is leadership without force. When a woman senses that steady presence, her guard lowers on its own. And when her guard lowers, connection becomes easy, almost effortless. That is not manipulation. That is understanding how to fall in love in a way that feels safe and mutual. Most men sabotage themselves because they focus on the outcome. They ask questions loaded with pressure. They lean forward with expectation in their eyes. They speak quickly. They try too hard. And she feels it. Female psychology is incredibly sensitive to emotional pressure. She may smile, but internally she tightens. She may laugh, but she pulls back. Understand this clearly. Nervous energy kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. Don't be the man who seeks approval in every sentence. Be the man who is comfortable in silence. Be the man who can sit back, breathe slowly, and hold eye contact without urgency. That is masculine calm. It is not coldness. It is not detachment. It is presence without anxiety. It is being fully there without trying to force what happens next. These are real psychology tricks, not lines, not scripts, but emotional control. If you want to ask questions that lead to intimacy without rejection, shift the frame. Don't ask for intimacy directly. Invite emotional depth first. Instead of pushing towards something physical, ask, what makes you feel most comfortable around someone? That question communicates safety. It shows awareness. It signals that you care about her experience. Or say, when do you feel most relaxed with a man? Now you are entering her emotional world. You are learning her language. You are building connection instead of demanding access. That is how to fall in love gradually rather than trying to skip steps. When she talks about comfort, about trust, about feeling understood, listen. Don't interrupt. Don't turn it into a joke. Nod. Maintain steady eye contact. Speak slower. Let pauses breathe. Silence, when you are calm, feels safe, not awkward. Women soften when they feel seen without being pressured. That is the difference between tension and intimacy. A tense man asks, "Do you want to come over?" with urgency. A calm man says, "I like how relaxed this feels. Let's continue this somewhere quieter." Hear the difference. One pushes, one invites, one seeks validation, one creates space. That is female psychology in action. She responds to the emotional tone more than the literal words. If your tone says, "I need this," she resists. If your tone says, "This is good, and it will be good either way," she relaxes. Don't underestimate that. Calm confidence lowers defenses faster than any rehearsed line ever could. Another key element in these psychology tricks is body language. Slow movements, relaxed shoulders, steady breathing, minimal fidgeting. Your body must match your words. You cannot speak about comfort while your knee shakes and your voice cracks. Women read incongruence instantly. Be comfortable in your own body. That is nonverbal leadership. That is emotional steadiness. If you feel anxious, slow down physically. Take a breath before responding. Lean back slightly instead of leaning forward. Give her space to lean in. When she feels that she is choosing to move closer rather than being pulled, intimacy becomes her idea. And when it feels like her idea, there is no rejection because there is no pressure. Understand something deeper about how to fall in love. It is rarely about intensity at the beginning. It is about safety layered with curiosity. Ask her about experiences that made her feel truly understood. Ask her what kind of energy she feels drawn to. When she describes a calm, confident man who listens, you are already demonstrating it. That alignment builds trust subconsciously. That is how psychology tricks rooted in emotional intelligence work. They're subtle. They are respectful. They are powerful because they align with female psychology instead of fighting it. Do not confuse calm with passivity. You must still lead. Leadership here means guiding the emotional tempo. If the conversation becomes vulnerable, don't panic. Stay steady. If she shares something personal, respond with warmth, but not overreaction. Say, I appreciate you telling me that. Simple, direct, grounded. That tells her she can open more. And openness is the gateway to intimacy. When she feels emotionally safe, physical closeness feels natural, not forced. That is the progression. Emotional comfort first, physical comfort second. Reverse that order and you create resistance. You must also release attachment to outcome. Desperation is loud even when words are quiet. If you are internally thinking, I hope this works, she feels the tension. Shift your mindset to, I enjoy this moment. That internal shift changes your energy completely. Enjoy her presence. Enjoy the conversation. Enjoy the laughter. If intimacy happens, good. If not, you remain centered. That emotional independence is attractive because it removes pressure. And without pressure, her natural desire has room to grow. This is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks. Detachment from outcome increases connection. Remember, women want to feel chosen but not hunted. There is a difference. Calm attention feels flattering. Aggressive pursuit feels overwhelming. Let her feminine energy unfold at its own pace. When she feels safe, she becomes more playful, more open, more physically responsive. You won't need to force anything. Her body language will invite you forward. She will lean closer. She will hold eye contact longer. She will initiate touch lightly. Those are green lights born from emotional safety. Pay attention. Move gradually. Match her pace. That synchronization is how to fall in love in a way that feels mutual and exciting instead of tense. In the end, understand this clearly. Intimacy is not won through pressure. It is earned through presence. Don't chase approval. Don't rush escalation. Don't perform. Be steady. Be grounded. Be relaxed in uncertainty. That is strength. That is maturity. When you master your internal state, you naturally influence the emotional atmosphere around you. Women respond to that stability because it makes them feel protected without being controlled, desired without being rushed. Study female psychology not to manipulate, but to align. Use psychology tricks rooted in empathy, not force. When you hold calm energy consistently, you will notice something powerful. She begins to move toward you on her own. And when intimacy feels like a shared unfolding instead of a pressured request, rejection fades away because connection was built the right way from the start. If this opened your eyes, don't just watch, act. A man who masters his energy masters the moment. Like this video. Subscribe for more grounded, powerful insight. And drop this in the comments to lock it into your mindset. My calm creates her comfort. Type it below. Own it. Live it. The fifth trick. Never ask for a yes, ask for a feeling. That line alone can change the entire way you move through intimacy. Most men walk into moments of closeness, like they're standing at a courtroom door, waiting for a verdict. Do you want to? Feels simple, but what it really does is corner her into a binary choice. Yes or no, green light or red light. And when you force a decision, you create pressure. Pressure kills connection. Pressure creates resistance. Don't put her in a position where she has to approve you. Be the man who understands emotional timing. That is what separates a high-value man from the rest. A high-value man doesn't chase a yes. He invites comfort. He invites honesty. He invites feeling. And when you ask for a feeling instead of permission, you completely shift the dynamic. Instead of saying, do you want to? Say, does this feel too fast for you? Or do you feel comfortable here with me? Notice the difference. One demands a decision. The other opens a door. One tests her. The other protects her. You must understand this. Women don't move toward intimacy because they are logically convinced. They move toward it because they feel emotionally safe. When you ask about her feelings, you're doing something powerful. You're giving her emotional control. And when she feels in control, she feels safer. Safety creates softness. Softness creates connection. Connection creates intimacy. This is not manipulation. This is emotional intelligence. This is masculine energy used wisely. Now, let's go deeper. When you ask, does this feel too fast for you? You are doing three things at once. First, you signal awareness. You show that you are not lost in your own desire. You are tuned into the moment. Second, you lower the stakes. She doesn't have to reject you. She only has to describe her feeling. Third, you position yourself as steady. A high-value man is steady. He is not rattled by feedback. If she says, maybe a little, that is not rejection. That is information. Don't shrink. Don't panic. Don't push. Be calm. Say, that's totally fine. I'm really enjoying just being here with you. Those words matter. They tell her you're not here for a transaction. You're here for connection. That response shows masculine energy that is grounded, not rushed. And here's the paradox. The moment pressure disappears, tension melts. When tension melts, curiosity grows. When curiosity grows, she often leans in on her own. You didn't force it. You created space for it. Most men over 35 carry years of conditioning. You were taught to initiate, to lead, to move things forward. That's good. Initiative is attractive. But initiative without sensitivity feels heavy. Be decisive, yes, but be attuned. A high-value man knows that attraction is not about speed. It's about pacing. It's about rhythm. Think of intimacy like music. If you rush the tempo, the song collapses. If you listen, adjust, and match the beat, the dance becomes effortless. You must learn to read the room. You must learn to read her breathing, her body language, her tone. Asking for a feeling is like checking the rhythm. It keeps you in sync. And here's something powerful. When you ask about her comfort, you subtly communicate abundance. You are saying, without saying it, I don't need this moment to validate me. That is strength. That is composure. That is how you attract women without chasing them. Women sense when a man's identity depends on the outcome. That energy feels tight. But when you can smile and say, I'm good either way, you radiate masculine energy that feels expansive. Expansive energy draws people in. Tight energy pushes them away. Don't be tight. Be expansive. There's also a psychological shift happening beneath the surface. When you ask for a yes, she evaluates you. When you ask for a feeling, she evaluates herself. She checks in internally. Do I feel safe? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel connected? And the beautiful thing is this. If the answers are positive, the desire becomes hers. Not something you pulled. Not something you negotiated. Something she arrived at on her own. That ownership is powerful. When a woman chooses intimacy because she feels ready, not pressured, she invests more deeply. She relaxes more fully. She trusts more completely. You must remember this rule. Intimacy is not taken. It is allowed. And allowance comes from comfort. If she says, maybe a little, and you respond with ease, you demonstrate emotional leadership. Not control. Leadership. You show her that you can handle complexity, that you can handle nuance, that you can handle a moment that isn't perfectly scripted. That is rare. That is attractive. That is the behavior of a high-value man. And when you consistently show that you respect her pace, you build a reputation in her mind as someone safe to open up to. Once that door opens, things flow naturally. Let's be clear. This approach doesn't mean you become passive. It doesn't mean you sit back and hope. It means you guide without gripping. You lead without locking. You express interest without demanding agreement. That balance is masculine energy at its finest. Calm, clear, confident. When you say, do you feel comfortable here with me? You're not asking for approval. You're inviting truth. And truth builds trust. Trust builds intimacy. It's that simple. Many men fear hearing anything other than an enthusiastic yes. But growth happens in a gray area. If she says she needs a little more time, you gain insight. You adjust. You stay present. And paradoxically, that patience often accelerates attraction. Why? Because she feels seen. She feels heard. She feels respected. Respect is magnetic. It is one of the strongest ways to attract women long-term. Flash fades. Pressure backfires. Respect endures. So the next time you're in that close moment, don't aim for the green light. Aim for alignment. Don't chase confirmation. Invite conversation. Be the man who understands that feelings drive decisions. Be the high-value man who knows that comfort is the gateway to closeness. That is how you protect your confidence. That is how you preserve her dignity. That is how you create intimacy without rejection. Ask for a feeling. Remove the pressure. Hold your frame. And watch how naturally the connection deepens when she feels safe enough to step forward on her own. The sixth trick. Mirror her desire back to her. The sixth trick is simple, precise, and rooted in Old Stoic wisdom. Mirror her desire back to her without losing your center. A woman does not choose intimacy based solely on how strongly you want her. She chooses based on whether she feels your desire is steady, controlled, and grounded. That is the difference between hunger and confidence. Too much desire feels like pressure. Too little feels like indifference. Balanced desire feels magnetic. If she leans closer, you lean closer. If she holds eye contact, you hold it just the same. If she touches your arm, you return the touch at the same level. Not more, not less. This is calibration. This is control. This is an iron mind in action. As Marcus Aurelius taught, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Attraction works the same way. You do not chase. You do not retreat. You respond. In modern life, where texting is constant and attention is cheap, most men overplay their hand. They double text. They escalate too quickly. They try to impress. Don't. Be measured. Be observant. Be intentional. Mirroring is not manipulation. It is emotional intelligence. It signals, I see you. I understand you. I am present. When someone matches our energy, we feel safe. When we feel safe, we open. That alignment creates connection. Connection builds intimacy. Intimacy becomes mutual. This is not about tricks. This is about discipline. Old Stoic wisdom teaches restraint before reaction. Stoicism win is not about suppressing desire. It is about directing it. An iron mind does not get carried away by a moment of chemistry. It studies the moment. It matches the rhythm. It stays composed. And that composure is attractive because it communicates self-respect. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Bravery in dating is not bold moves. It is calm control. You must understand this deeply. Women are highly attuned to emotional shifts. When your energy jumps ahead of hers, she feels rushed. When your energy lags behind, she feels unsure. When your energy aligns, she feels understood. That is the sweet spot. That is power. In today's world of fast gratification and surface-level connections, the man who masters pacing stands out. He does not flood her with compliments. He does not withdraw to create artificial mystery. He mirrors. He responds proportionally. He stays centered. Repeat this in your mind. Match her energy. Match her pace. Match her desire. Not more. Not less. This repetition is how you train an iron mind. This is how Stoicism win becomes practical, not theoretical. Because when you mirror correctly, something subtle happens. She feels in control of the escalation while you quietly guide the rhythm. She feels safe expressing desire because you are not overwhelming it. And safety is the gateway to intimacy. In modern dating apps, in late-night conversations, in quiet dinners, the rule remains the same. Observe first. Respond second. Maintain frame always. If she increases warmth, you increase warmth. If she slows down, you slow down. You never punish distance. You never reward mixed signals with overinvestment. You stay steady. That steadiness is attractive. That steadiness is rare. And rarity creates value. Epictetus reminded us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Master yourself in moments of tension. Master your impulses when chemistry rises. Master your reactions when signals are unclear. This is not about suppressing desire. It is about expressing it with proportion. Proportion builds trust. Trust builds comfort. Comfort builds closeness. And closeness leads to intimacy without the sting of rejection because nothing feels forced. You are not asking for intimacy. You are co-creating it. You are not pushing the door open. You are turning the handle when she reaches for it too. That is synchronization. That is emotional leadership without pressure. Say it again. Not more, not less. In a world that rewards loud behavior, be precise instead. In a culture that rushes connection, pace yourself instead. In moments where your instincts scream to escalate, breathe instead. That breath is old Stoic wisdom in motion. That pause is Stoicism win in real time. That control is your iron mind proving its strength. And when you operate from that level of discipline, you don't chase intimacy. You attract it. You don't fear rejection. You minimize it through alignment. You don't hope she feels safe. You create the conditions where safety naturally grows. This is mastery. This is maturity. This is how a man wins, not by overpowering the moment, but by harmonizing with it. The final trick. Make it the moment's idea, not your idea. Let me give you the final shift that separates the man who chases intimacy from the man who naturally steps into it. Make it the moment's idea, not your idea. Don't ask for intimacy directly. Don't turn connection into a request. Be the man who recognizes what is already happening and calmly brings attention to it. Instead of saying what you want, acknowledge what is real. Say, this feels really nice. Say, it's kind of amazing how comfortable this feels. Say, you have a really gentle energy right now. That is not pressure. That is awareness. And awareness is powerful. When you highlight the moment, you remove yourself from the role of the pursuer and step into the role of the observer who appreciates. This is one of the most effective psychology tricks because it shifts the emotional dynamic without force. You're not asking her to give you anything. You're simply recognizing the connection that already exists. And here's the truth about female psychology. When a woman feels that a man is present, calm, and tuned into the emotional atmosphere, she relaxes. She opens. She leans in. Not because she was convinced. Not because she was pushed. But because she feels safe inside the experience. You must understand this distinction. Requests feel transactional. They create a subtle contract. I ask, you respond. But feelings feel authentic. They feel shared. When you name the moment, you transform it into something mutual. It's no longer about you wanting her. It's about both of you experiencing something together. That shared experience is how to fall in love in a way that feels natural, not negotiated. Don't underestimate how powerful this is. Most men sabotage intimacy because they rush to define it. They try to secure it. They try to confirm it. Be different. Let the energy breathe. Let the silence speak. When you calmly acknowledge comfort, chemistry, softness, you allow her to step into the feeling without defending herself against pressure. This is where psychology tricks rooted in emotional intelligence outperform any scripted line. You are not manipulating. You are amplifying what is already there. And in female psychology, amplification of positive emotion creates attachment far more effectively than direct pursuit. Think about modern dating. Everyone is guarded. Everyone expects hidden agendas. So when you simply say, this feels easy, and leave it there, you create relief. Relief builds trust. Trust builds closeness. Closeness builds intimacy. That is how to fall in love without announcing that you are trying to fall in love. Do you see the difference? One approach says, can I take this further? The other says, this already feels good. One creates evaluation. The other creates immersion. You must choose immersion. Be the man who experiences, not the man who negotiates. And here's the deeper layer. When she feels that the moment is unfolding naturally, she feels ownership of it too. It becomes her decision as much as yours. That shared ownership is crucial in female psychology because emotional safety and autonomy matter deeply. When she feels she is stepping forward on her own, attraction intensifies. Not because you demanded it, because she decided it. That is one of the most refined psychology tricks you will ever use. It's subtle. It's respectful. It's strong without being aggressive. And when practiced consistently, it changes how women respond to you. So remember this. Don't push the moment. Name it. Don't ask for connection. Recognize it. Be calm. Be present. Be the man who understands that genuine intimacy grows best when it feels discovered, not requested. Master this, and you won't need to chase closeness again. You'll simply create the kind of space where closeness naturally chooses you. All right, my friend, before you go, let me leave you with this. If today opened your eyes even a little, if it made you see intimacy not as a risk, but as a skill, then don't just walk away and forget it tomorrow. Take action. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Stay connected. Because this isn't about tricks. It's about understanding human nature, managing your energy, and moving with calm confidence instead of fear. Here's the real advice I want you to remember. Stop chasing validation. Stop fearing rejection. When you ask for intimacy from a place of emotional steadiness, without pressure, without neediness, you change the entire dynamic. You're not forcing a moment. You're allowing one. That shift alone puts you in control of yourself. And that's where real power begins. After this, go watch the other videos on the channel. There's a deeper layer to psychology most men never learn, but you're learning it now. Thanks for spending your time here. Stay sharp, stay steady, and I'll see you in the next one.